Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Friday, January the 29th, the year's 2021. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap up and the monthly wrap up, the last trading day of the week in the month. I hope you all had a profitable week and a profitable month to start out 2021. Just so you know, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Yeah, this is not investment, trading, or financial advice. And the only advice I really do want to give you is make sure you have your risk management in place so you don't lose any more in any one single trade than you are willing to lose. That way you won't have any pain, and hopefully you'll have your brain management in gear, so no fear and no regrets. And finally, on the money management side, take profit before the market takes it back. You might want to take 50% off the table and move to stop to break even or break even plus one. In fact, I was talking to a trader on the phone today, and I was taking some trades. In fact, I was using my upstairs computer in my bedroom because I just didn't feel like getting out of bed. It was cold, but I was I was taking some trades, and I nailed this one trade. I went short, and the one ball showed up, and I punched out for I don't know 2 pips maybe, and then just like that, in a blink of an eye, it ran 5 pips the other direction. And once again, that just shows why you have to take the profit before the market takes it back. And doing in that sometimes when those one balls show up, sometimes it'll keep going in your direction, but you don't know. But if price is moving and the one ball shows up and it sits there for a couple of seconds, yeah, sure, it could continue up. But if you're long and it goes back the other way hard, you don't want to one, give back the profit, or two, wind up in a losing position, because that can happen. So it's one of those things about the brain management where you don't think about what you could have had, because you don't, once again, you just don't want to get into that regret of getting out. What you do is, instead of thinking, oh, I could have had 5 pips, think, I got 2 pips out of the market in the bank and I'm out of the trade. I don't have any risk on at the moment. Because when you put a trade on, you've got risk on. You're risking. It's always a risk, especially in today's market and economy. Now, for the week, I think we showed you earlier the gaps filled. Somebody was asking me what indicator does that, which donational, and it's the TRO 2017 TRO dashboard. Now, the thing is, if you donate for 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, or 2021, you will get that indicator because I didn't want to change the name, because if I change the name, if I made that 2021, then all your templates that refer to this are going to have to be changed. So that's why I just left it with that name. Now, they were asking about the gap. Let me see. Let me just find where, right here, the gap. So I've got it, say, column 17 gap, weekly, um, bar number 0, no threshold. And so that'll just basically tell you whether or not the gap has filled. Simple. Very interesting chart here. We're right there at 3,700. This has been a really interesting day on the pound. Last night before I went to sleep, I shorted the pound at 3,700. And for some strange reason, I woke up around 2:30 in the morning, and I'm glad I did. I woke up, it was down in the 60s. So I took the profit off the table, and I had a hunch to reverse, and I did. And I rode it all the way back up. So that was made a nice day of trading. You can see we're 58 pips above the yearly open, 20 above the weekly, but 19 below the daily. and we're inside the inside bar of 4 days ago. So you can see price right here on the daily, it's pretty much ranging. So you're going to probably want to look for price to break out of that range. I don't know if it's going to break to the north or break to the south. The pound hasn't quite hit 100, but we've got some other pairs. We see we've got 3, 5, 9, 10 other pairs that have hit the 100 mark. And you can see now the pound's dropping. And if you're wondering, I'll show you in a couple of charts here more on that trade that I took. Or actually, I could probably show you right here on this chart. But you can see here we've got the buy zone. Price just crossed below the open here at 17, through the sell zone, and just went back down to the pivot. So once again, money to be made fading the pivot from the open towards the pivot. What happened was I just thought it was going to drop from the 1700 level. So I just basically took that trade last night. And then, like I said, I woke up and I looked left. And what I saw was that right down here was that, I think it was, maybe it's right about here. I saw that price had gone up here, price went up here, price went up big time. So I was thinking that it already made this return bar, because that's a pretty big bar. It didn't quite get to this return bar, and where those tails are, and just, once again, looking to the left, I said, I think this is an opportunity, because, I think they call these tweezers or something. When the candles look like that, the wicks are pretty much the same, or within 1 pip or so of each other. So I saw that forming, and I just went ahead and jumped in and made it all the way up here, actually putting in a new daily high. And then look what's happened since then. And right here, there was a clue there to go short. Second clue here. Once again, looking to the left, and you just take your chances. I mean, I can't tell you for sure it's going to drop from those points, but I can say, well, those structure guys, you can say, well, you can put your stop loss here, and you can take your TP, 2 times whatever the stop is, or 3 times. Whereas me, it's up here, it's above the 3,700. I would just target it to 3,700 and would have been able to punch out probably either here, or now. And usually if I target 3,700, I will try and take profit somewhere between 2 and 5. Because the worst thing is missing your take profit by a pip. And that's happened to me before. So that's why once I target it, within 2 to 5 pips is close enough. And the rats are once again having a good old time. You can see here, we came here, we put in a low, and we went and put in a new high, and then we came back down to that 3,700, bounced all the way back up into the rat zone, and then back down. And there's still a few traders, I guess they haven't watched my rat zone video, because I know I've explained this, but from a simple standpoint, we go back to a daily chart here. You can see these daily wicks are huge. So what I did was I ran a frequency distribution. I wrote an indicator to tell me what's the distance between the bottom and the low and the high and the top on each of these candles. And so then I said most of these numbers were greater than 20. So what that told me was if I buy within 20 pips of the daily low, current daily low, chances are when it closes, I'll be able to make money. And on the other side, if I buy within 20 pips of the high, chances are when it closes, I'll be able to make money. Now, does it work every time? Of course not. Does it work most of the time? Yes. And what I mean by work is if I get in somewhere in there, do I get an opportunity to take profit? That's all I'm looking for is the opportunity, because the market's not going to give it to me. I have to take it. So, for example, when it put this low in and moved up, came back, if you didn't take your profit, that's on you. It's not the rat zone's fault. That's your fault. Pivot, we took out that pivot point. Daily, we took out the daily as I just mentioned. You see, we still have this missing pivot back from January 19th. So we've got one missed pivot this month. And for the year, one missed pivot. And then if you look at the week, you can see we've been taking those pivots out nicely. Still have a couple left from 2020, but then you got to go all the way back to 2018. So look for those pivots to be taken out. Wick zone, in and out. And that was another clue I had when I saw price get in here. So what did I have working for me? Well, I can look to the left, see price came up through. I look to the left, and what do I see? A whole bunch of bull candles. I don't see that many bear candles staring at me. So right now, if I look left, I'm staring at bear candles, staring at wicks. So we also were in that wick zone. Price shot right out of it, and we were within the rat zone. So there was a lot of reasons to take that long trade, take the risk, and go long. I mean, I could have put that trade on, going back to sleep, and woke up. It could have been down here at 3,500, but that's why you use a stop loss. Daily ranges, here we can see the last 5 days, high to low. That's the total range. High to close, what's that? That would be the rat zone. So you can see here, one day it only got 13 pips off the high. On the bottom side, closed the low. Every day was greater than 20. So that's why I like trading the rat zone, because I have statistics my favor. Now, buy zone traders, high to open, I've only got today and the day before, just because of how much space I don't have on the screen. But you can see here 33 pips from the open, 69 from the open to the north, 61 and 46 to the south. Once again, pips to be made. They're yours for the taking. And that's the key. You have to take them. Now, this screen, you're probably going to go, what the heck is that? This is the latest thing I'm working on. It's nothing new, actually. I'm using some of the same indicators from before. HL5, 3 instances, the ATR lines off the high and low. The only new indicator is my TR 2021 tug of war candles. And so what does this mess do? Well, this is for the hour. Notice here, this says H1. And down here on the B clock, I turned on the ATR. I forget, there was a trader that asked me to do this for him. So what I'm looking for is to trade away from the open towards the ATR zones for the hour. And then if it gets a ball in the ATR zone, I'm looking for a reversal. And all these lines, these are just simply H1 closes, and these light blue ones are D1 closes. I like to see a ball near the line as opposed to the white space, because price seems to like to go from line to line across through that white space. And then, of course, you can get away from all of that and simply use the sweet spots gold and trade the Walmart lines. So, fellow traders, once again, I hope you had a profitable week and month. I hope you have a fun, safe weekend. Be careful out there. And when you come back to your trading platform, just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So you go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.